Right, good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. I'll just take my helmet off actually. But so it's 1st of May today, which makes it exactly 4 months to the day since our last video. Quite a while, biggest gap I think we've ever done, and you know, just weather and things and work and stuff. But we're out again, so hopefully the next gap won't be as long. So accept my apologies, or our apologies. But so we're up about 3 miles into the route so far. Back behind me, I might be in the way, but is Glen Callater. In fact, Callater Stables Bothies over there. I think you can probably make out of my shoulders, but we haven't been in yet. There's a couple of people hanging about, so we might pick it up tomorrow, which kind of brings us on the route, I guess. We're going to gain some height and go up and above and potentially round kind of this whole Glen Callater area. We're not exactly sure. Flexible, open routes. We've got quite a bit of climbing to do, just starting, well, about now really. So what time is it? I don't know what time it is. My clock doesn't tell me the time, but I mean, it's light till late on. So
it's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yeah. So we're going to be, yeah, I don't know. We've got about, what do you reckon, 7 or 8 miles to do, something
hope
here.
For a summit.
Hope for a summit, high up camp anyway, somewhere up there. So we'll see. The wind is getting up and the temperature actually going down. So it was yesterday. It was back at home. It was, what was it, 17, 18, 20 degrees, something ridiculous. But today the forecast is for temperature to drop, and it is starting to drop. So it's a bit chilly and the wind's going up, but it's all right. So I'll stop moaning and let's crack on up this hill. We were straight into some of the steepest sections of the climb before it gave way to a flatter midsection, before again ramping up towards the summit area. Going was hard, so we had to stop often, mainly to recover, but to check out the views north as well. Views over the large Munro complexes of Ben Arn and Benavauge were foremost, with the sun casting a lovely light over the summits and toes of Ben Arn. Of course, we could see back to where we had come from as well, and in the distance we could make out the NBA Bothy at the northwestern end of Glen Callater. Despite not having seen anyone since we were back at the lock level, we didn't get the mountain to ourselves, and there was regular interludes of what I think were red grouse on the mountainside. We eventually made our way onto the upper slopes where the gradients were a more manageable 7% or so. A few hundred yards and Coricandar came into view, with the beautiful little Loch Candar sitting in its basin. The wind was getting up, there'll be more on that later, so we left the 3,000 plus foot summit plateau and headed down the eastern ridge of Coricandar. Ultimately we dropped some 500 feet or so to try and get out the worst of the wind. I don't think I'm all in shot. Wait a minute, let me just move up. Right, here we go. This is the water. We spotted this little gully from over there. You can see the green moss and things. But yeah, it's a trial of patience to get this. But yeah, there's not much water up here. Obviously being up so high, so we thought we'd better just get some whilst we can. With water gathered, there was only the job of trying to find somewhere suitable to camp. We were lulled into a false sense of security by a temporary drop in wind and some fantastic light on the nearby hills. Well, evening. We finally camped. I'll show you in a minute. Can't actually see the tent from here. But I thought I'd show you kind of the area we're in. So I'll spin you around. That's Corricanda and Locken or Lockcanda. I don't know if you can hear me, the wind's wild. That's kind of where we started off, Glen Callater and Loch Callater, the top end of it there. Mountain wise, Tolmont over there. Can't remember the name of that one actually. But you can see it's lovely light. But the wind's fierce. It was forecast 20 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour gusts. But for the past hour or so, it's been pretty just about, well, constant 30 mile an hour. So windy would like, but Miss Sightblight Scotland's gone back to the tent anyway. I don't blame her. I'll probably be joining her soon, but I just thought I'd come out because there is, like I say, there's some nice light doing the rounds on the hills. So it's lovely. It's cold though. It's very cold, but yeah. So we came up over the top along that ridge that you can see there actually, and then over and down to try and get out the wind down here, but yeah, it hasn't really worked. But no, we just kind of gave up because we're going to have to probably push back out there tomorrow, and it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit much, so we'll see. But that's tomorrow. That's a problem for tomorrow. But yeah. So anyway, we might call it a night, depends if anything else happens, if I get any other footage, but if not, I'll see you in the morning. Hey, welcome to Callater Stables, Bothy. Yeah, we just had breakfast and coffee. But yeah, well, the reason we didn't have it up at the tent was, well, yeah, we need to talk about last night a bit. I mean, I didn't film any of it, but the wind just got worse and worse and worse, and it was relentless. So I went out at about 10:30, 11, and I've got one of these wind meter things, and it just kind of instantly went up to 40 mile an hour and blew my head torch off. So it was just brutal, and you know, it didn't blow over. So we waited about an hour, nothing. 2 hours, still the same. No sleep, plainly no sleep. Kind of concerned for the tent. I mean, it held up fine, but it's a lot of noise. I don't know. I'm guessing it was like 40 to 50, but all the weather forecasts, MWIS 15 to 25. Met Office said Glass Mile, which was the nearest top to us that they've got a little thing, was 15 to 17 miles an hour. And BBC Weather said it was 6. So, but it was 40 minimum and gusting above that. And it might not sound like a lot, but it is if you've been out in that kind of wind intense. It's not pleasant. There's no sleep and much anxiety. So we started actually considering our kind of options. We packed up a lot of the stuff inside the tent, not the sleeping bags and stuff, but all the kind of, stuff that gets launched around as part of camping, and just to prepare in case. But the spot we'd chosen to camp was quite a bit off the track. In retrospect, I think that was probably a mistake, because it was about this morning when we did finally come. It was like nearly an hour's push back up to the road, which just wouldn't have been feasible, or, well, I guess it would have been feasible. It wouldn't have been pleasant in the middle of the night with howling winds. So, there's lessons to be learned from all of it, from forecasts to where you pitch to, I don't know. Of course, when we chose the pitch for the tent, there was no wind. And, you pull it up and it starts slowly building, and I don't know what you do about that, but it was too windy to move it or anything like that, so... Anyway, lessons learned. So that's why we packed up this morning, got off the hill. We did have ideas for the route to going around to Tolmont, Town Jocks Road, along Glen Callater, but we didn't get to sleep to 3:30, where the wind actually did die down a little bit. But by 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, it was back up again to the same kind of speeds. But at least the sun was out, so it wasn't quite as ominous. So I was kind of glad to make morning light. But we were like, there's no way we're getting water boiling or anything up there, even kind of in the porch. I don't think. We were just both for getting out. So anyway, here we are at the stables having breakfast after what's been quite a questionable, and if I'm brutally honest, not a particularly enjoyable night. So lessons learned and all the rest of it. I think I'm going to wrap up the video from here. Anyway, I'm going to have this. We've got about 5 miles back down Glen Callater to the car. So we'll do that. Get back home to civilization. But it's been good, but tough. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and join us on the next one.